If you saw my Bobcat video, you'll know that one of the projects for it was to make an adapter to mount the bucket to the Bobcat. I think it's a Kubota bucket, but not sure. Now that bucket has pinholes, and I decided that's the way I wanted to mount it, was using those pinholes. So we're going to start off by making some pins. Just so happens that 1-inch bar stock, this is stainless steel 303, 1-inch bar fits in that pinhole perfectly. So I don't have to turn the diameter. All I got to do is finish the ends and put some slots for some E-clips. And of course get rid of all the sharp edges. So that's one of 4, but we also need a sleeve. Now the sleeve just needs cut to length and sort of countersunk on the inside to get rid of the burr that's pushed up. Part doesn't get much simpler than that. Just gotta deburr this other end. Take it to the bucket and try it out. Made him a snug fit on purpose so the bucket's not rattling around. So that's a pretty good fit. Just need to do the other 4 or other 3. I was thinking about just welding a frame to this bucket, but I opted against it. Maybe I should have in the end, but I didn't, so here we are. This is just some 2x2 square tubing. It's 1/4 inch thick, which is overkill and made it extremely heavy. I think I could have got away with 3/16 for sure, maybe even 1/8 inch, but this is what I had laying around and I wasn't going to buy anything for this, so that's what we're using. And I want these edges to be perfectly square, which I could have did with some marking it up and using a grinder or sander, but since I had to put some holes in it for those sleeves anyway, I just put it in the mill. Here you can see a little better the 2 cutouts for the sleeves. Fits pretty good in there. A little bit of wiggle room. Just give me some space to position it, make sure it's where I want it before I weld it up. I'm trying to push these pins all the way to one side because there's not a whole lot of slop in them. So when I do this side and do the other side, I'm going to push them both in the same direction. That way when I go to mount the bucket, hopefully I'll have a little bit of wiggle room back and forth. If I pushed them both in opposite directions, it would either be snug in the middle or snug on the outsides, if that makes any sense. I know it doesn't look like it here, but I do have a welding helmet on. Just can't see it because I got my hat pulled down over it. So now that both sides are done, I can start putting some connectors between them, kind of build a framework here. And it works out that these two uprights, they sit in a good spot on the Bobcat. I thought I was going to have to add some more so that it could sit on the Bobcat in a place where it could be, the force could be bore up against something substantial, but these worked out just fine. So even though I have these two extra bars here, I'm just gonna save them for something else. So basic framework is fine, but now I need to have a way to mount it. The Bobcat has the quick disconnect, which I think pretty much everyone's adopting, as far as I know. Bobcat's got such a presence in the market that I think everybody wants their stuff to fit or be compatible with. So that top angle was just achieved with that top downward angle was achieved by putting two angles together.
Yes. Look at that. That's perfect. Finish welding all this up. That'll be nice. That'll be nice. Put a little plate here just to keep it from sliding this way. Something. I'm sure I got some scrap laying around. Well, actually, hold on. Look at that. That doesn't go all the way to the tip. So I may want to back that off just a little bit. Give me enough room to get in there. That way this is flat. Yep, that's why I didn't finish weld it. I'm gonna move that back and we'll try it again. So that's looking pretty good. Nice and flat up against there. Now what we have to do is make a slot for this to slide into to lock it. And there's one on both sides. This one's out because the bolt rusted. I'll be replacing that. So we'll use this side for the measurements, and assume that side's the same. We're not going to get too complicated with it. We can do this rather easily. I'm hoping with a piece of angle that goes in between the two uprights with a slot cut out for that to slide into. Hopefully it'll make more sense as we do it. So let's just do it. That's pretty much dead on. We might be able to cut that notch a little bit deeper in the back, but other than that, I think we're where we need to be. So here it is, tacked in place. See, we got our notch, first notch, and our second notch to match. And I did a quick test fit. Looks like everything's just fine. So I'm gonna finish weld these two uprights, a little bit down here to give me some support, a little bit in the middle. Probably cut that off a little bit just to clean it up some. Cap these ends, and then we're ready to put some paint on it and put it to use. It would probably help if I put a little bit of a bevel on this edge, something to help line it up. So I'm going to go do that and see if we get any movement that way. Got a little bevel. See if that helps. Alright, I guess I shouldn't have expected those to line up perfectly after everything has heated up and shrink from all that weld. Still close enough though that a little bevel on the tip. They popped right where they're supposed to be. Now let's get this thing fired up and get it mounted. I'll take that. Still gotta fix the arm on this side, but the other side's working just fine. Alright, cross this one off the list. Thanks for watching.